So friends, having completed the training program, now we are coming to the concluding session, and we will have the question answer session just after this, and maybe our guests, they will also like to join in that session. And we have with us, I'm very happy to have with us today, Mr. Diwakar Kamath, MD of NKGSB Bank. Then we have Mr. Dogra. He is MD and CEO of Zorastrian Cooperative Bank Limited. And we have Shri Rajendra Lakade. He is chairman of the Veer Cooperative Bank Limited. We have participants in this program from NKGSB Bank and Veer Cooperative Bank. So they will also be listening to their superiors in this session. And first of all, I would just like to introduce the people on the stage. So we have Shri M.S. Sunderarajan, former CMD, Indian Bank. We have with us Dr. R.K. Dubey, former CMD, Canara Bank. Then we have Dr. Farid Ahmed, former Executive Director, Punjab and Sindh Bank. They are all mentors. They have taken sessions during this program also. Then I have already introduced the three persons who have joined us as a guest, but I would just like to give their introduction also to the audience. Mr. Diwakar Kamath, he belongs basically to Union Bank of India. He was general manager there. He headed the biggest region of the bank, Mumbai, and he is rated as an expert in credit. Then we have Shri Rajendra Lakade. He is a businessman, social worker, a yoga teacher, and a fellow member of many social and financial institutions. Then we have Mr. Dogra, who has over 43 years of banking experience. Presently, he is MD and CEO of the Zorastrian Cooperative Bank since 2019, October 2019. But before that, he was Senior Vice President and Zonal Manager of Axis Bank. And he is also having about 40 years experience with Central Bank of India. Before that, where he was a general manager. He specializes in collaborative leadership, team building, risk management, international banking, trade and forex. And we'll also be today enlightened by his thoughts. So at this stage, I request Dr. Farid Ahmed to welcome our guests. And then after that, we will start with their addresses. Over to Farid, sir.
Very good afternoon, friends. Our seniors, Shri Sunderarajan ji and Dubey ji, and also Unikrishan ji are there, along with Arvind ji on behalf of our Elites Bankers Club. I welcome Shri Rajendra Lakade ji, Dilip Dogra ji, or Diwakar Kamath ji. Mr. Diwakar Kamath is almost all associated for this program from the first day to last day till today for all these sessions. So I welcome you all for this concluding session of our 3 days program. In fact, this Elites Club was doing few activities in the name of Bankers Weekly, the weekly publication, and also support to the officials of the banks in various aspects. But last year we started this Elites Bankers Club with the intention to share the knowledge, believing that God gives the knowledge not only to us, through us also. That is the principle with which whatever the little knowledge we gained during our banking days, all of us thought that we should share with this so that it will be useful to the banking industry in the coming days, because the present youngsters are going to lead the banking industry in the coming days. With that, the Elite Bankers Club started the initiative of conducting the fortnightly webinars. Whoever joins this Bankers Club as a members, and we are successfully conducted for the last year we conducted about more than 35 webinars, and this year again from April onwards we are continuously from May onwards, because we started in May 2021. In fact, we are conducting webinars fortnightly on the leadership and also banking alternatively. And also specifically, we are conducting about 6 webinars on monetary policy immediately after its announcement. And also after a webinar after a budget. So in nutshell, what it was doing it, but with the request from the field and the other banker colleagues, we started last year and this year conducting the sessions, specifically keeping the promotions in view and also followed by the mock interviews. And those sessions and mock interviews we have conducted for the particularly with a focus on executive promotions, including the executive director. Up to executive director, we had interactions with different bank colleagues, which was really appreciated by them either in the last process, and in this process, the interactions are going to be there with the prospective ED candidates from different candidate banks. So in the last 2 months, what we thought is we should conduct the short-term courses so that scale 2, scale 3, scale 4 will be benefited, mostly because they are the people who are heading the branches and who are going to play the very, very important role, because they are the contributor to the bank's business and more importantly, bank's profit. All others, regional managers, zonal managers, general manager, head office, are the head office staff or the administrative staff. They are all going to incur the expenditure. Actually, the branch is going to contribute the profit. So keeping them in view, we conducted, this is the second program for them. The third program, first program, we conducted a short-term course of about 9 hours. We conducted on working capital finance, about 5 to 6 hours course on term lending and project appraisal. And this is the third program. We felt that the first-time branch managers program, thinking that the first-time branch manager post is very, very important, and whatever they will learn, they will follow, they will practice in the first year of their tenure as a branch manager is going to be their platform or foundation for the next period in their career. Then besides this program, we conducted one program for the regional managers, first-time regional managers. Very good response from different banks has come. So this is all, this particular program, when you see the composition of the branch managers, mostly from the cooperative banks. Diwakar ji has supported us by sponsoring the major number of participants in this program, and besides other 2 banks. So in fact, we were thinking that wherever the cooperative banks or the smaller private sector banks or the others, besides regular PSBs who are joining for our seminars, webinars, we want to formulate a separate programs. In fact, 1 or 2 of the colleagues in our club who are going to take the classes or who are associated with this, they are having the knowledge of cooperative law and all, but as you are aware, particularly 3 of our guests from cooperative banks, cooperative law differs from state to state, though the fundamental principles are same. So we want to focus on that also, because the cooperatives banks are having that local touch, local feel, and a lot of loyalty and the confidence of the rural people in the cooperative banks. So we are happy that for these programs, 3 cooperative banks have nominated their branch managers in good number. In fact, the majority of them are from these 3 banks. So I request with Kamath to speak for a few words about this program and also this thing, followed by Lakhade ji and also Daljit Dogra. Kamath, for you.
Thank you, Dr. Farid. Yes, as you said, cooperative bank is now evolving banking. We are trying to enter into the mainstream banking. Also, RBI regulation for urban cooperative banks has increased over a period of time. So they want us to be at par with public sector banks. So I think through this forum, I would give my branch managers who are cooperative banks means some systems processes need to be improved. I want them to expose them to this public sectors, how we deal with our customers, the different type of lending, the borrowings, different conditions we face. So a lot of improvement needs to be done in corporate bank, and this is the right forum for them to understand from all of you, the banking captains here, so and the veterans of the banking industry, so that they come up to this level, next level. Of course, it's going to take time. My branch managers are not that much, exposed to the finer aspects of banking, but they will, of course. All of them are very, very young. We have a very young force, and the grasping power is very good. So today's session was very important, I would say, from the banking point of view, and very important banking parameters were discussed. I feel credit monitoring in today's parlance is one of the most important tool in a borrowing account, and how to keep account always standard. And I would say Satarta is the order of the day. Mr. Dubey has brought out the key elements and the finer points, I would say, to how to monitor, judge a borrowing capacity of a borrower. Do not lend if you find too many deviations in the proposal. Next, we have to how to manage stressed assets. Was a session taken up by Mr. Sachdev. Very interesting session. He compared live examples of his stint in Germany, when he had to finance a large German company, and the type of documentation they do and what we do. How to deal with NPA borrowers was another aspect he also took upon. Next session he dealt was about how to manage the ecosystem of a bank. Very important from the branch manager's point of view. He explained about the banking frauds, and by giving very, very live examples, since he was the CV of two large public sector banks, of course, he has come across very important cases. So some live cases he has brought to the, for this in this forum, which I'm sure my branch managers will take it as an example in their daily working. And of course, lastly, Mr. Sunderarajan's session was as lively as ever. I would, as my former boss and my mentor, I can only say he has the knack of creating positivity amongst the his employees, and motivating people. So I'm sure my branch heads would have charged up after his session, and his valuable tips also on how to face a business review meeting. So I would say the key takeaways from today's session would be: prevention is better than cure in banking monitoring. In banking, monitoring plays a very important part of prevention of NPS. So there are tools available at the, as explained by Mr. Dubey, to monitor accounts. Stress assets add to the stress of the financials of the bank. Mr. Sachdev explained how to deal with stress assets and to protect the interest of the bank. And in the whole banking ecosystem, being vigilant at all times is the key to safe banking. And frauds, nature of frauds with the practical examples were given by Mr. Sachdev, with mitigating measures, how to prevent frauds and take measures. Preventive vigilance is one topic he has touched upon to avoid frauds. And be it internal or external, I think it's a very important topic in which we all should practice also. And lastly, Mr. Sunderarajan touched upon the branch managers, how to motivated them, how to face business review meetings at all times. So I would say in all, very good points were covered, and I'm sure my branch managers are taking over very important points for their day-to-day functioning, and to add value to their functioning also. I would only request my branch managers, I think 50 of them are there from my bank, to ask questions now. Any clarifications you need about today's session, please come out in open. Don't feel shy in asking, because you are privileged today to hear to all the industry captains, which would not have otherwise. Please use this occasion to ask questions, clarify anything doubt you have. I think this is all from my side. And Mr. Arvind Mohanji, thank you for setting up this Elite Bankers Club. It's a very important forum for bankers, especially for smaller banks like ours. I would involve more of my branch managers in different sessions, especially in credit. They need to upgrade their credit skills, is what I feel. Going further, like I would request to have a curated session for credit only also. Thank you all.
Dogra ji, please.
Okay. Thank you, Arvindji. Thank you, Dr. Farid. One correction, I'm Daljit Dogra, not Dalip, and I was with Central Bank for around 26 years. So with that slight correction. So good afternoon,
Sorry,
everyone. I hope I am audible.
Yes.
So the content of the training program, which has been shared by Mr. Arvind Mohan, I find that is very useful for a branch manager for day-to-day functioning. I would, since most of the participants are from the cooperative sector, and I also now am in cooperative sector, there are multifarious challenges which are facing us, and also giving us an opportunity to scale up and be at par with the best in the industry. So I will just take a few pointers to the history, and that is that in the year 94, why I'm choosing 94 is that is the year when the new generation private sector banks came into the game, and they changed the way banking is done in India. Probably that was the transformational moment when in April 94, these banks first were UTI Bank, Instant Bank, etc. They got their registration done. That point in time, the cooperative banks, and I mean only the urban cooperative banks, that the audience is of urban cooperative bank, we had around 5% share in the deposits of scheduled commercial bank plus cooperative banks, and around 6% in the credit of the scheduled commercial bank plus cooperative banks. This share has come down to around 3%. And the share of the private sector banks is around 30% in deposits. And it is more in the advances. It is around 30-35%. So that change in the role of the banks, particularly the urban banks, the change in the market share speaks volumes. That's something in the cooperative sectors we have been doing, which probably is not of the liking of the customer. And the new generation private sector banks came and changed the rules of the game. And they used extensively the technology, and probably took a lot of business away from public sector banks, as also from urban cooperative banks. Now, that is one part of the story. The second part of the story for our urban cooperative banks is that our size is not a threat. Our size is an advantage. Today, if State Bank of India wants to have a change in the strategy, it will take a long time for that to percolate down to the last man in the branch, and then to implement that. But we are small in size, 200 branches, 300 branches, 400 branches. Sarswat Bank also is, I think, in that reason only, not more than 500 branches. So whatever changes we want to make, we can be very nimble-footed. We can make it very good change very quickly, and that is our advantage. Now, the second advantage of urban cooperative bank is the way we are connected to the local market. In the multinational era today, still we have certain brands which are selling better than the international brands. It means there is a scope of business for everyone. We can have the example of Patanjali, Colgate, etc. They are the multinationals, but the competition which Patanjali has given is a textbook case. Similarly, as UCB, as a cooperative bank, we have certain advantages where we can very quickly have technology which is affordable. The best of the technology we can have, whatever is there with State Bank of India, with Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, we can have. There is software as a service model available in the market. We need not purchase that technology. We can acquire that on lease and be very cost effective. So technology is not a challenge. and our size is our advantage. The second most important part in the service industry like banking is the people. Today, if we have a right kind of combination of people plus technology, we shall still be the winner. We may not be as big as the State Bank of India or other large public sector banks, but we shall have our stars in the sky of our locality. Now, in that people, the branch manager plays the most critical role. The most critical. In fact, the branch is the building block of any organization in the banking. The branch manager of a branch, all put together, becomes the bank. Now, any organization, we have 3-4 things to begin what to do. RBI already has set the rules for the game that we have to take deposit lend according to the. So what to do has been already defined. How much to do, our head office is set the target. So that choice also is not there with the branch manager. How much to do is also there. How to do is the most important part, and that is there with the branch manager. So every branch manager, he has to understand his area, what we call in the private sector banking parlance, that we should have a branch scoping document ready in every branch. What is that? That who are the people around us? How many shopkeepers, how many industries, what kind of population is there, how many housing societies, if I'm talking to the Bombay audience, and the customer connect. One is customer contact and one is customer connect. Contact is I gave you call, you picked up, you said no, thank you, or okay, I will see. But the connect is your rapport with the customer. I would say that is the key for any branch to succeed, and the branch manager has to lead that. No manual of business development gives any insight on how to do it. It is coming naturally to the branch manager that we move out, talk to people, talk to our existing customers, persuade them for more relationships, their family accounts. If they are businessmen, then their business associates, the vendors. If you look at the products offered by the private sector banks, it's sales chain finance. We have accounts like, if I talk about Zorastrian Bank, we have accounts like Godrej, we have accounts like Shapoorji Palanji, we have many other accounts. Their vendors, huge number of vendors are there. They are not as big as them. And same is the strength available to the any other corporate banks. So those kind of business leads can come only and only if we meet the people in the market. So that is the part of the branch manager's role. To my mind, 70 to 80% branch manager should be out in the market. And if the person does it successfully, there is no way that business goes anywhere else. I would say a very simple tool you can, branch manager, there is no need for having very sophisticated tools. There is simple Excel sheet. If we look at, we make to-do list every day. My to-do list is ready. And in the evening or next day morning, if I have decided to do 5 things today, I have been able to do 3 or 4. And next day, whatever is left, put it on the next day's list. Do it for 3 months, and you will find that you are able to do 90% of to-do list. Very simple. It's very difficult. It looks as it's not that easy to do business that way, but it is very, very effective. It is very, very effective. And you can yourself appraise your performance every single day, rather than your boss appraising you at the year end and then giving you some kind of looks. Branch manager can himself or herself has it next day morning. Oh, I planned 5 things. I did only 4. Okay, this one I will do next. Now, I would put, this is the one side of the story. Branch manager is a person who is put from all directions. Staff, union. Let me be very candid. In cooperative banks, there are a lot of unions. In public sector banks also are too, but I think some of the teeth have been blunted. And then there are the customers, there are technology glitches, and then there are bosses. The priorities are taken away from the branch manager. I would still say that the to-do list does hold good, because if the two of the items are changed by external factors, maybe by your boss, by your customer, by your other things, you will still feel that you planned 5, 3 came from somewhere else. Out of 8, you do 6. So it means against the 5 plan, you are doing 6, you are overperforming. So these are the very, very simple things in the life of a branch manager, that staying in touch with the customers. Most important, nothing else can happen. Nothing else can bring business. Staying in touch with your customers, your existing customers, seeking their family accounts, their own accounts. You will be wondering. Other day, I'll just share one example. I sanctioned an education loan of 2 crore to a customer. That time he gave me the security. He gave the security of 4.5 crore. And non-customer. Next day, when I asked my team to find out how much relationship is there, they have with us fixed deposit of 3 crore. We took some time. We took only one day, but I would say that kind of wealth of the customer data is available within the bank. Now that person has his daughter, his son, his daughter-in-law, his nieces. Then the person who has made 3 crore, which he's keeping in Zorastrian bank as fixed deposit, he would be keeping so many deposits in other banks also and mutual fund. If he has made that much money in his life, he would have a lot of connections also. He would not have made this alone. So those connections also we can tap. So very simple things, very, very simple things for a branch manager. And branch manager should act as CEO of the branch. When I say CEO, means he should not have that arrogance, but he should plan everything. It's not that powers only, but I would say that if he takes that responsibility, that I will grow the business size of the bank, of my branch, to a level higher than what is given the target to me by the bosses. I think that will be charging him up or her up every day. And the Mool Mantra is for a branch manager, and since most of them are the first time branch managers, please spend more time outside the branch. Whatever is the percentage you can do, you may take some 2 months, 3 months to understand, but ultimately move out to the field. And that is what these new generation private sector banks are doing. And that's why they have 35% share in advances, 30% share in deposits. And probably that is the reason that our share in the business in a cooperative sector has become half. What we were in 94 has become half of that. So it has been, I think the course contents are excellent. And the kind of bankers you would have interacted in these days, I think that is once in lifetime opportunity. We don't get to speak in one training program or to listen to in one training programs. The galaxy of stars which I see here and also in the list of the mentors shared by Mr. Anil Mohan, it would be benefiting you immensely. Thank you very much, Mr. Arvind Mohan, for inviting me, and all the best to all the participants.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Lakade ji.
Lakade sir, if you can start your.
Yes, sir. बोलना जरूरी है क्या सर? I will attend.
बोलिए सर. Please share your experiences.
नमस्ते. एक्सपीरियंस तो मेरे ब्रांच मैनेजर्स ने ब्रांच मैनेजर की मीटिंग में शेयर किया था, तभी मुझे लगा कि मुझे अटेंड करना चाहिए. मैं एक छोटे से गांव से छोटे से बैंक का चेयरमैन तो हूँ, लेकिन अभी जैसे हम देख रहे हैं कि मानव संसाधन और आईटी में बहुत पैसा खर्च हो रहा है बैंकों, और जितना क्वालिटी हम एचआर के बारे में चाहते हैं एडवर्टाइज देने के बाद भी मिलते नहीं है. मिलने के बाद वो बहुत कॉस्टली है, वो बैंक को परवड़ेंगे नहीं. इसीलिए हमारे पास एक ही ये रह जाता है रास्ता कि हमारा जो अपने पास जो स्टाफ है उसी को ट्रेन करें. तो हम सोच रहे थे कि कहाँ से ट्रेनिंग मिले, क्या होगा. तो आप हमारे कॉन्टेक्ट में आ गए. अच्छा है, आपको धन्यवाद देना चाहेंगे. आगे से हमारा बहुत सा स्टाफ आपके साथ रहेगा भी, और आपके ऊपर अभी जिम्मेदारी है कि छोटी छोटी बैंक जो प्रयत्न कर रही है सर्वाइव होने के लिए, तो आपका सपोर्ट चाहिए. और आपका अभी जो प्रयत्न चल रहा है उसके बारे में आपको अभिनंदन भी करूंगा, शुभेच्छा भी दूंगा. थैंक यू सर. धन्यवाद.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Arvindji, we start our
We start question answer
Sundararajan
session.
ji, Dubey ji.
I think Dubey sir
Or
कुछ
we
कहना
go
चाहेंगे
straight for question answer session.
or we go straight away to
Sir, Dubey ji, आप थोड़ा सा address करिए और Sundararajan जी भी.
Okay, thank you Farid bhai, thank you Arvind ji. Respected Shri Sunderarajan ji, my dear Farid bhai, dear Diwakar ji, Unni bhai, and the respected guests Shri Rajen ji and Shri Daljit ji. Perhaps I may be knowing, or Daljit ji might be knowing, we were in Central Bank together when I was in Central Bank as ED in 2012. Well, it is good of you, Dogra ji, that you chose to send your newly promoted branch managers here for interaction and training. I think me, my colleagues, my friends, they have done their best to guide them from their lifetime experience of around 40 years plus. And it was on practical tips, not just bookish thoughts. Bookish thoughts are also required because they are the ideas, they are the basic principles of banking, which need to be reiterated as many times as required. But what is really practice? And we practically talked of practice. In practice, how they can do lending, how they can mobilize deposits, how they can monitor those accounts once lent, what are the precautions to be taken. Prevention is better than cure. How to see that the accounts, they don't surprise and shock by becoming NPA. If they are monitored at every level, right from pre-sanction appraisal to post-sanction disbursement, compliance things, and all those things which are required in the computerized environment with the change situation, we tried to inculcate them. Your branch managers were quite interactive and responsive. Yes, in asking question answers, a bit shy. Maybe they open up after some more time. We would love to respond to them, their question answers also. That's why I often tell Arvind ji, please share our mobile number and mail ID with them, so that in case they are shy of talking in the public platform, they can write here on the chat box. They can write to Arvind ji, who can coordinate with us. They can write directly to us also. We are very would like to interact them. I wish all the very best to the branch managers. I wish best luck to all the three MD and CEOs of the cooperative banks. I was alarmed to see, to listen the narration of Sri Dogra ji regarding the figures that he quoted. That cooperative bank share from 94 onwards has come down, to practically half. That means somebody else is eating away our share. And the way private sector banks have been going on, consolidation is going on in public sector banks, I think these ratios are likely to be further deteriorating. It is likely, although it should not happen, and it is very timely that existing bankers, existing staff, as Rajenji was rightly saying, is trained, sharpened with knowledge, skills, and the right attitude to be aware as to where do they stand, where their management wants them to be, and what they must do. I wish all the best to all dear young participants and all dear guests here, and I wish the best for the success of cooperative bank. They get their glory back, and all other banks, public sector banks also get their glory back. Thank you very much. I am still available for any question and answer session by the participants.
There are many questions waiting in the chat box. We will have them after this is over.
Sundararajan
We
ji.
will start with the session.
Sir.
Sundararajan sir.
In fact, guest Sri Daljit, Mr. Diwakar Kamath, and then Rajendra Lakadeji, and my esteemed members, mentors, and then dear branch managers. Today, the knowledge is power. Absolutely, in the banking itself, they find that there are a lot of skill gap. Mr. Daljit as well as Rajendra will agree with me. In our days, we have to learn by trial and error. Today, the field has grown such a thing that you have the mentors, and then you have the various opportunities of acquiring the skills. That way, I should compliment Shri Arvind for organizing this program, where we could share some of our thoughts and experience straight away, equipping them with the experience of about 40 years in them, to know at the beginning stage itself, acquiring the skills to excel further in the field. Cooperative sectors will continue to gain lot of importance. The innate way that they are connected with the various areas, be it a rural area, semi-urban area, urban area, or a metropolitan area, it's a very, very important thing. Cooperatives will continue to gain lot of importance. RBI is also further strengthening the cooperative sectors. So come whatever it may be, competition will always be there. Competition bring the best in out of us. Definitely, they will continue to excel. I am thankful to the opportunity of interacting with the young branch managers. Branch managers, there is a bright future for you. You will excel, and then you will continue to do your share in our Indian economy. All the best. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. And before we switch over to the question answer session, I'll just have to say that I have sent the link for feedback, because that feedback is very important. So I have sent it by WhatsApp to all the members, all the participants who are there. And I request them all to give their feedback. And also I would like to inform Dogra ji and Kamath ji and Mr. Lakade that on the 7th of August, we are having a webinar on analysis of monetary policy, which is going to be announced on 5th of August. So the analysis will be made by Sunderarajan sir, Mr. S.C. Kalia, who is not here in this session, but he is a very senior mentor in our club, and Dr. Farid Ahmed. They together will analyze the monetary policy and enlighten us about the implications or the impact of the policy decisions on banks. So I will invite you to participate in that. I will be sending you the necessary meeting links for that. And of course, we are planning for more sessions. I would say more of this branch manager training program, because there are many branch managers in these 3 banks itself, which are yet to be trained. And after that, of course, many other banks will also join in. And it's not just that we are getting nominations from banks only, we are getting nominations from general bankers also. In this session also, many, about 11 normal public sector bank branch managers, they have also joined into this. Last time also, when we had a program for regional managers, we had 28 participants, 28 regional managers or zonal managers participating in that. So we are presenting basically a low-cost solution, training solution to banks, which can also be availed by employees if they are ready to take it on their own, because the cost we try to keep to the bare minimum in all the cases. And doing it online, of course, has an advantage as far as cost is concerned. But at the same time, there is no compromise on quality. As you must have seen from the list of our mentors, we have I would say the best banking brains in our mentor list who take sessions in this. So it is a solution for cooperative banks, small finance banks, and I am sure they will avail of this and send more and more nominations into our future programs. So now I thank Sunderarajan sir, Dubey sir, Kamath ji, Dogra sir, and Rajendra Lakade ji, and of course Krishnan sir, for having participated in this session, enlightened us with their thoughts. And I request them to remain with us during the question answer session also, because the question answer session in all our session programs has been the most lively session, I would say, when many questions are asked by the participants, and they reveal too many things to us as to what kind of problems in practice our people in the field are facing. So I'll be very grateful if you continue with this when we move over to the question answer session. Thank you, sir.